Okay, here are my audience members, Jenna, Chrissy, and Annie. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story about a boy and his dog, but I promised it's a story that you've never heard before. All of you guys know about Creed. He was 7 years old, and he was very sick and in the hospital. Anyways, and he finished a bone marrow transplant and was going through a bunch of other treatments. His best friend happened to be a golden retriever named Casper, who was his therapy dog. Casper and Creed had a bond pretty much like nothing I've ever seen before. They were inseparable and spent as much time as they could together. One day, after a bunch of intense treatments for his bone marrow transplant and a bunch of intense chemo and radiation rounds, scarily enough, Creed coded on the table. It was a really intense moment. Everyone filed into the room and started saying prayers and singing his favorite worship songs, and his mom, Stephanie, crawled into the bed. Lisa, Casper's owner, was immediately called, and Casper and Lisa came as fast as they could into the room, and Casper lightly jumped on Creed's bed and laid across his stomach. Stephanie placed Creed's hand on top of Casper's paw and whispered in his ear that Caspy, which is what Creed called him, Caspy was here, and that if Creed wanted to wake up, we promised everything was going to be okay. The room was incredibly silent. You could hear a pin drop. And everyone was just watching Creed's every moment. And slowly but surely, his little hand was grasping Casper's paw, and he was squeezing it and rubbing his thumb up and down. And slowly but surely, Creed came to and was as happy as a kid could be. Anyone in that room that day will say that they witnessed a miracle and that they obviously just saw Casper save Creed's life. As you can tell, dogs are incredible creatures, and their effect and purpose as therapy dogs is astounding. If you've ever been to the hospital, you know exactly how dogs can help the sick. I've witnessed their benefits firsthand and seen how important they are in hospitals. Obviously, the benefit of a therapy dog is overwhelming to those who need it. They can bring comfort, and they help improve mental and physical health anytime they visit. I will prove the importance of therapy dogs in this speech by explaining how they can comfort others and help improve mental and physical health. The first point is that therapy dogs are needed to bring comfort to those around them. A great example of this is the story of Casper and Creed that I just told. As I said, their bond was inseparable, and anytime Creed was hurting, Casper would know and instinctively hop into his bed and cuddle with him. Another great story about therapy dogs used for comfort is in the Sandy Hook tragedy. Dogs were brought into the school to help comfort the students and families of the tragedy. Ryan Williams, a 12-year-old student, was quoted saying, "When they come over and you pet them, you kind of forget the bad stuff that's happening for a bit," which I think is a great moral for anyone. All of us here have dogs, and so you know sometimes when you just want to cry or just are in a bad mood, they just kind of lighten your day. So obviously they can be used to comfort those who are in a much bigger tragedy. Another thing that therapy dogs can help with is mental health. Therapy dogs are known to help decrease feelings of loneliness, reduce anxiety. They can even help children overcome social and emotional disorders, and they also help reduce patients' boredoms when they're in the hospital for long periods of time. A study was done with 34 people who were going into an MRI. 28 of them were allowed to spend 30 minutes with a therapy dog before their MRI, and 6 of them were not. After the study was done, it was proven that the 28 people who visited with the dog had a much lower level of anxiety before their MRI than those who did not. So that study kind of proves that a therapy dog can be a much needed non-medicated form that helps reduce anxiety, because a lot of times you can't add in a medicine to help reduce anxiety with their routine when they're going through a bunch of things. Lastly, therapy dogs can help with a patient's physical health, which is kind of incredible. Therapy dogs are known to help improve physical health by lowering your heart rate and your blood pressure when you pet them. For some reason, it's just an instinctive thing. When humans pet a dog, almost any animal, they immediately calm down and start to decompress. So that's pretty incredible when there's little children and people going through very traumatic things. Another thing that dogs can do just by petting them is help lower levels of epinephrine and norepinephrine, which are neurotransmitters in your body, which is very important when you're in a hospital. Therapy dogs can also help boost levels of endorphins, which is a natural substance in the body that helps relieve symptoms of pain and stress. And obviously we all know when you're in and out of a hospital, or even in a hospital for a long time, something that would just help relieve your pain or help you forget about the pain that you're going through is a much needed in the hospital. In conclusion, therapy dogs have many benefits, from just being a source of comfort to those who need it to helping improve mental and physical health. It's pretty incredible to think that everyone in this room has a dog and that most people we know owns a dog. And there are so many things you can do with your dog to help others. So if you just sit and think for a while, what can my dog and myself do to help others? It's a pretty incredible thing. So thank you for listening. Yay! Thank you!